Is your child deathly afraid of shots and needles? Join the club. I'll tell you how to help your child and work through it. Stay tuned. That's what's up next. Yeah, nobody likes getting a shot and nobody likes getting their blood drawn. But if this looks like you when you're about to tell your kid that they have to get a shot or get a blood test, then we need to talk. So here's the deal. You are gonna have to get a shot. That's my kid too. And how are you supposed to deal with that when they have to get their blood taken? Because there's mysteries in our body that only our blood can reveal. And so it can't be avoided all the time. What you're trying to tell me is that he has to have the blood test? My kid's fear of shots is like a phobia on steroids. Is there any way around that? It's bad, it's ugly, and it wasn't going away. So how are you supposed to help? Well, we've talked about this before. When your child has any anxiety, your knee-jerk reaction is going to be to avoid it. I know, but I'm just asking, like, could they put him under for that? Or is that a little bit extreme? When you avoid things, they don't go away, they just get bigger. You're gonna have a grown-up who is afraid of shots and getting their blood drawn. And so like everything else I talk about, you wanna lean into your child's fears and you wanna slowly do exposure response prevention. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out my video on ERP. ERP is slowly exposing your child to their fears one step at a time. So it's kind of like jumping into a pool that's cold. At first, it's gonna feel horrible. And then over time, your child is going to get used to it, and the impact of that shot or getting that blood drawn is going to be a little bit less. When I say a little bit less, I mean like you're not going to require a dozen people to hold your child down. I'm not saying your child is going to skip into the office and happily give their arm for the shot or for the blood. That's not going to happen. So you want to start by exposing your child to the level that they can tolerate. So for my kid, who is afraid of pretty much anything that can poke, so we've got fears of bees, fears of cactus, we got fears of scissors. Now, I had a secret about a month ago. I knew that my son was going to have to get his blood drawn, and I knew that no matter what, it had to be done because it was important. So I started doing exposures about a month before I knew his appointment was going to happen. And I told him, you know, we have to face our fears on everything. So how about we face our fears on shots and needles? Why not? When you're doing exposures, set up challenges and make them fun. We're gonna do challenges! Woo-hoo! Challenges! Super exciting. They're not gonna be thrilled with that. So you're gonna have to get a reinforcer. Go to Target, go to the dollar store, go to Walmart, and buy really cheap little prizes. Put them in a prize box. Tell your child if they can do a challenge, they can earn a prize. Now, for some reason, you have a kid that is gung-ho about challenges. So I started off with just poking him. And I asked him 1 to 10, how stressed are you about the idea of me poking you? And he said it was about a 5, which is pretty high actually for someone just poking your arm. So that's where we started. Once my child was used to poking, we wanted to move it up a notch. And you're probably gonna skip the poking step and move right to this step. So there is something out there called a shot blocker. Shot blockers are there to help disseminate the pokey feeling that your child experiences when they get a shot. Shot blockers are your friend. The shot blocker is also great for exposures. You know why? Because it is innately pokey. I started by using the shot blocker as an exposure in and of itself. Compadre made this. A compadre of the pain and suffering of an anxious child made this for sure. So I had my child put this on their arm where they would get the shot. And then I just pressed firmly, as told to do on the shot blocker itself, and asked him what his number was. Pokey! I did that every single day for a long time until his number went down to a 1 or a 2. And then I brought out the big guns. I opened up a paper clip And then I showed my child what it would feel like on their finger. I said, this isn't going to be like a needle, but it's going to poke you in a similar sort of way. So we can test out the shot blocker.
I know what that was.
My finger? It was my finger.
It was?
Yeah.
But I think you did it with the tip of your, nails.
No, I didn't. So then we moved on and we did higher challenges around doing the shot blocker with a poke from the paper clip. Now for my son, because I knew he was going to get blood drawn, we moved to the inside of his elbow because I wanted him to acclimate to the experience of getting poked in the spot where they were going to take his blood. Another good exposure, which I didn't do, but I thought about afterwards, is wear blue gloves or just latex gloves like the lab tech will wear. That's kind of cool. That will expose them to that component. And also, you might want to get like gauze or cotton balls so that you kind of wrap their arm after your exposure. You want to just mimic it as much as you possibly can. So grab your blue gloves and do-si-do. Over time, my child got used to the shot blocker. They also got used to the feeling of being poked, and they started to believe in the shot blocker because they realized that the paper clip wasn't poking them very hard and they couldn't feel it because the shot blocker was helping. I like to chart my kids' success, and so I made this worksheet that I use in my practice and on my online classes that help when you're doing exposure challenges. So every time my child did a challenge and they earned a prize, I wrote it on their worksheet and we celebrated their success. And I hung it on the fridge. Awesome job!
Thank you, Mom!
When your child is sitting there in the chair, it's nice to have some big grown man hold them because especially if it's someone they love, like maybe their dad, that can feel comforting instead of restraining. And so, their dad can give them a big loving bear hug and control their arms. And distraction is also really important. So I don't care if you have poked your child a gazillion times before they're actually getting their blood drawn. You better have some distractions. Bring your PSP, bring your Game Boy, bring your iPad, bring your iPhone, bring your iTouch, bring your shuffle, bring whatever you need to that will distract that child from what is occurring. But then the day came where I actually had to take my child to the lab. Hi, this is Mrs. Daniels again. I was just calling to see, I just wanted to confirm that we really had to get this blood drawn. I know, this is the third time I've called. I'm just checking. Okay, we'll be there soon. I understand. I won't call again. Bye. And when we got in the car, I am not going to paint a rosy picture. My child was not happy and they were super nervous. And that's to be expected. So all we're really trying to do is bring down that steroid phobia down to a normal fear of getting a shot or getting your blood drawn. You got this. There were a lot of worries. You can do this. There was a lot of reassurance. You've been practicing. There was a lot of hand-holding. You are so brave. There was a big man named Dad who actually sat in the seat and held him while this happened. There was a really bad lab tech. You got to be kidding me! Who had never seen a shot blocker. She didn't know what it was. And I actually wanted to kill her because we handed her the shot blocker. I told her about the shot blocker. We were good with the shot blocker. And then she didn't use the shot blocker. Months of practice down the drain. But it wasn't because he did okay. Shot blocker is my hero. Even if lab techs refuse to use it. There was a scream. There was upset, but then it was over. And it only required one grown man to hold him instead of 5. I'm sorry, but that's progress.
We're gonna go get some breakfast now.
No, I have to still hold it.
Oh yeah, she's gonna put a Band-Aid on it.
I am proud of you.
Yeah, she's just getting everything done. She's gonna...
See? All done.
So I still don't hold this?
Yeah, just hold it for a second.
Okay.
Just for a second.
Just for a
Thank you.
second.
From one parent to another, from one therapist to a parent, I hope that helps you because we all have to spread our wisdom and survive this one shot and blood draw at a time. If you're liking my videos, please don't forget to hit like. I appreciate that, and it shows that you are enjoying my videos. I do come out with a new video every Thursday, and you don't want to miss it, so hit subscribe, hit that bell if you even know what I'm talking about, and I will see you next week. I hope you find the sparkle in everything you do. Until next time, take care.